one per cylinder, with lengths calculated to optimize exhaust scavenging for the engine's RPM range. The exhaust pulse from each cylinder creates a vacuum effect that helps pull the next pulse out. The result, on a 5.3 or 6.2, 15 to 25 horsepower at the wheels from headers alone. Pair them with a tune, and you're looking at 25 to 35 horsepower total. Throttle response sharpens noticeably, the torque curve widens, and the exhaust note, raw, mechanical, nothing like a muffler swap. Here's what most people don't realize about the installation. Long tube headers on a GM truck are not a weekend bolt-on. The passenger side header has to snake around the steering shaft. The driver side has to clear the starter and the oil pan. Installation typically takes 6 to 10 hours at a shop that's done it before, longer if they haven't. That's why labor runs $400 to $600 on top of the parts. But once they're in, they're in. No maintenance, no adjustment, just power every time you start the engine. Cost: $1,200 to $2,500 for quality catted headers plus installation. The smart approach: catted headers with high-flow cats built-in pass a sniffer test in most states. They just don't pass a visual carb inspection. In non-emission states, nobody's looking under your truck for header brands. GM's factory exhaust manifolds are designed to be cheap to manufacture. Headers are designed to make power. Different priorities. But this next one doesn't just add power. It transforms what the engine can do entirely. Band number 4, and the modification that terrifies GM's warranty department more than any other, is an aftermarket supercharger. Magnuson Whipple ProCharger. Bolting forced induction onto a factory 5.3 or 6.2 V8. The moment it's installed, GM considers your powertrain warranty void. Dealers are trained to spot the intercooler, the intake modifications, and the belt-driven compressor during any service visit. Insurance companies can flag it after an accident for claim adjustment. GM's official position: the engine internals weren't designed for increased cylinder pressure. The supercharging increases stress on pistons, rods, bearings, and head gaskets beyond factory specifications. Here's the thing: that statement is technically true and practically misleading, because GM massively over-engineered the bottom end on the LS and LT architecture, forged steel crankshafts, powdered metal connecting rods on most versions, an iron or aluminum block that can handle significantly more than factory output. GM knows this because they use the same architecture in the Corvette, the Camaro ZL1, and the CT5V Blackwing at over 600 horsepower. The bones are the same. A Magnuson TVS 2650 on a stock 6.2 at 6 to 8 PS, it puts you in the 600 horsepower range. A Whipple Gen 5 pushes past 650. On a 5.3, a ProCharger P1SC at 7 to 8 PSI delivers around 500 horsepower on stock internals. And these aren't dyno queen numbers. These are kits engineered by companies whose entire reputation depends on the engine surviving. At moderate boost, 6 to 8 PSI, the stock bottom end holds. The factory fuel system handles it with a tune. The stock transmission handles it with a tune. The truck drives completely normally at cruise, no different from stock in traffic or parking lots. But put your foot down and you have double the power on demand. I talked to an owner in Arizona who runs a Magnuson on his 2018 Sierra 6.2. Daily drives at 50 miles round trip to work. Tows a 24-foot boat to the lake twice a month. His words: "In the morning commute, my wife can't tell the difference from stock. On the boat ramp, it pulls like a diesel." That's the reality of a modern supercharger kit at moderate boost. It's not a track car conversion. It's a daily driver that happens to have 600 horsepower available when you ask for it. The AC still works. The ride is still stock. The fuel economy at cruise is within 1 mile per gallon of factory. Cost: $6,700 to $8,500 for the kit, tune, and installation. That's real money. But consider what you're getting. A truck that outperforms vehicles costing twice as much on an engine platform proven to handle it. And here's the warranty reality most people don't know. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, federal law, says GM cannot void your entire warranty just because you installed an aftermarket part. They must prove that the specific modification caused the specific failure. If your window regulator breaks with a supercharger on the engine, that's still a warranty claim. But if a connecting rod lets go, that's on you. Magnuson, the supercharger company, also offers their own limited powertrain warranty with their kits. It's not GM's coverage, but it's not nothing. GM builds the engine to handle 500 horsepower. Then they give you 350 and tell you not to touch it. Now, band number 3 is less exciting than a supercharger, but potentially more important for the long-term health of your truck. Band number 3, and this is the one that starts arguments between dealers and independent shops, is running non-GM transmission fluid in the 6L80, 8L90, or 10L80. GM specifies Dexron 6 or their latest Mobil 1 synthetic LVAT/FHP for these transmissions. Using anything else, even a premium synthetic from Amsoil, Royal Purple, or Modal, gives your dealer grounds to deny any transmission warranty claim. They check fluid color and smell during diagnostics. If it's not what they expect, they flag it. GM's position? Dexron 6 has a specific friction modifier package matched to their clutch pack material. Anything else risks shift quality degradation and premature wear. Now here's the context they don't mention. The 8L90 had a shutter problem so widespread that GM issued multiple technical service bulletins, changed the recommended fluid specification, and reflashed the transmission calibration more than once. Their own original fluid and calibration weren't solving the problem. The updated recommendation, Mobil 1, synthetic LVAT/FHP, was essentially an admission that the factory fill wasn't good enough. Stay with me here. Aftermarket synthetic fluids from Amsoil Signature Series and Royal Purple Max ATF are engineered for higher thermal stability than Dexron 6. They resist breakdown at the temperatures. The 8L90 and 10L80 actually reach under towing load, temperatures that accelerate Dexron 6 degradation. They don't carry GM's official Dexron 6 license. They claim compatibility but aren't paying for GM certification. That doesn't mean they're worse. It means they didn't pay the licensing fee. Independent transmission shops that rebuild dozens of GM transmissions per year see the inside. Aftermarket UC has changed suspension geometry in ways they haven't tested. Ball joint angles, caster and camber adjustment range, and component stress differ from factory specifications. Now let me tell you why this is the most hypocritical ban on this entire list. GM sells leveling kits through their dealer accessories program. You can walk into a GMC dealer, buy a 2-inch level kit with a GM logo on the box, have the dealer install it, and drive off the lot with a leveled truck. But the factory-stamped steel UCAs that come with your truck were designed for stock ride height. They do not have enough caster adjustment range to properly align a leveled truck. The result? Negative caster, which causes the steering to feel light and wander at highway speed. accelerated inner tire wear because the alignment can't be set to spec, and premature ball joint wear because the joint is operating at the edge of its designed range. Aftermarket UCAs from quality brands solve every single one of these problems. Cognito UCAs $650 to $900 per pair. Kryptonite around $700. Icon $900 to $925. All of them use uniball or heavy-duty ball joint ends with 2 to 4 degrees of additional caster adjustment that the factory arms physically cannot achieve. Here's the detail that matters when you're shopping. Uniball UCAs, like Icon and some Cognito models, have zero deflection. The joint doesn't flex under load, which gives you the most precise steering feel and the most consistent alignment over time. The trade-off is road noise. Uniballs transmit more vibration than rubber bushings. Ball joint UCAs from Kryptonite and others use a traditional ball and socket design with a greasable fitting. Slightly less precise than uniballs, but quieter on the highway and easier to maintain. For a daily driver that sees mostly pavement, ball joint UCAs are the better fit. For a truck that sees off-road use or tows regularly, uniballs hold alignment tighter under stress. Install aftermarket UCAs on a leveled Sierra and the alignment goes back to factory spec. Tires wear evenly. Steering feels precise and planted. Ball joint life increases because the joint operates at correct angles instead of being maxed out at its limit. The paradox is inescapable. GM sells the leveling kit that creates the geometry problem. GM's own UCAs can't correct the geometry problem. Aftermarket UCAs fix it completely. And GM voids your warranty for installing the fix. Every alignment shop that works on leveled GM trucks recommends aftermarket UCAs. Not suggests, recommends. Because they're tired of customers coming back every 6 months with chewed inner tire edges that no amount of alignment adjustment can fix on factory arms. GM sells you the leveling kit. Then they deny warranty when their own control arms can't handle it. The aftermarket fixed what GM wouldn't. And band number 1, the most impactful modification on this list, is the one that fixes the single most complained about system on modern GM trucks. Band number 1, an aftermarket calibration for the 8L90 or 10L80 transmission. Not an engine tune. A transmission-specific reflash of the TCM, the transmission control module, with non-GM calibration software. And GM tracks this the same way they track ECU flashes. The TCM has a flash counter. Every rewrite increments it. It doesn't reset. Any non-factory calibration is grounds for immediate and complete powertrain warranty denial. Dealers are specifically trained to check for this during diagnostics. GM's position: only GM engineers should modify transmission calibration parameters. Shift timing, shift firmness, torque converter lockup strategy, and line pressure are precisely calibrated for each vehicle application. Let me be clear about what that precisely calibrated experience has actually delivered. The 8L90 launched with widespread shift quality complaints, harsh 1-2 shifts, torque converter shudder, gear hunting on hills, delayed downshifts that leave you hanging when you need power. GM has issued dozens of technical service bulletins updating the calibration. Dozens, each one an acknowledgement that the previous version wasn't right. Some trucks have been reflashed 5 or 6 times at the dealer trying to get it sorted. Here's what's actually happening inside GM's calibration strategy. GM prioritizes 2 things: fuel economy and NVH. Noise, vibration, and harshness ratings affect their corporate cafe numbers and influence new truck reviews. Soft, delayed shifts feel smooth in a 10-minute test drive at the dealership. They score well on NVH meters. They help fuel economy numbers by keeping the converter unlocked longer and shifting as early as possible. But soft shifts murder clutch packs over 100,000 miles. Delayed shifts mean the transmission is slipping longer during each gear change. That slip generates heat. Heat degrades fluid. Degraded fluid accelerates wear. GM's fuel economy calibration is slowly destroying the transmission's long-term durability. Independent calibrations from companies specializing in GM transmissions flip those priorities. Firmer shifts that reduce clutch engagement time. Proper torque converter lockup without shudder. Line pressure that matches actual driving load instead of fuel economy targets. Downshift timing that responds when you need it. Let me describe what the before and after actually feels like from the driver's seat. Before the calibration, you're cruising at 65 on the highway. You press the gas to pass. There's a pause. The transmission thinks about it. RPMs climb, but the truck doesn't accelerate. Then it downshifts, sometimes 2 gears at once, and lurches forward. That hesitation feels like the truck doesn't want to listen to you. After the calibration, you press the gas. The downshift is immediate. 1 gear, clean, predictable. The truck goes when you tell it to go. On deceleration, the converter locks up smoothly instead of hunting between locked and unlocked. Shift points on hills hold steady instead of cycling up and down trying to find a gear. It feels like what a $50,000 truck should have felt like on day one. The result, the transmission feels like it should have felt from the factory. Not harsh, not aggressive, just correct, predictable, responsive. The kind of shift quality you'd expect from an 8 or 10-speed automatic in a $50,000 truck. Cost. A quality TCM calibration runs $450 to $750 total, including the flash tool and calibration file. That's less than a single dealer transmission service. And here's the mechanic perspective that says everything. GM has spent a decade trying to get these calibrations right through dozens of updates. Independent shops figured it out with one. That's not a modification, that's a correction. 5 modifications, all banned by GM, by dealers, by warranty departments. And every single one exists because GM's factory solution wasn't good enough. The headers restrict power. The engine can handle more. The factory fluid wasn't solving the shudder. The factory UCAs can't align a leveled truck. And the factory calibration is slowly killing the transmission it's supposed to protect. GM banned these modifications to protect their ecosystem, dealer service revenue, warranty cost control, and the corporate metrics that drive how they engineer trucks. They didn't ban them because they don't work. They banned them because they work better than what came from the factory. If you want to see the modifications that are banned by law, not just by GM, watch 10 illegal GMC mods that actually work. That's the legal companion to this video. And for the upgrades that are completely legal and completely warranty safe, watch 3 worst and 4 best GMC upgrades you can buy. GM banned them because they didn't build them, not because they don't work. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.